Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Not Table Talk. That's what we're calling this, I guess, because we can't figure out a name for the call this.
I like it.
Normally it's called Table Talk, but it's not Table Talk. It's the pretty people here this week, and me included. I think me more than everybody else at this table. So, guys, these are two of our athletes. We have Austin and Alexia. They are new to the company, but they are going to be doing big things this year, and we can't wait to see what you guys have planned. We're going to talk a little bit about, get to know them, and that way that you guys get to know them as well. So we're going to start with general questions, just because let's get to know each other, right?
Let's get serious.
This is a conversation. This isn't, so before we get into the actual questions, where are you guys from? Where I mean, California. Mm-hmm. Are you from?
Oh yeah, man, that's a whole different.
You're not. You don't have a Florida accent.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, my story. I was born in Japan.
What?
So, that's rad.
Rad. On a military base. So both my parents served in the military. My mom was in the Air Force. My dad was in the Marines. I was born in Okinawa, Japan. I was there until I was like two and a half. Came back to the States, and we went to Redding, California, which is Northern California, so the other side of California.
Yeah.
And then the sticks. And I grew up there, small town called Redding. A great place to have dreams and ambition, but not really chase them there. You got to leave. So I'm one of the rare people that got out, and then I moved to Reno, Nevada, because that was like the closest thing that wasn't Redding. And then after that, I was like, all right, this is a bigger city, but like I want more. Like I want more for myself. Like I didn't want to stay in California because I'm self-employed. And I was like, all right, Nevada had no state tax. Florida sounds pretty good. I'm like, that's a bodybuilding, no state tax. I'm like, income tax at least. And I'm like, let's send it. And I met my girlfriend too, so that was another perk. And I just full sent it across the U.S. And now I've been here since March of last year, and it's been great. You
haven't had to deal with any hurricanes or anything yet?
Oh no, we did. There was that one that was supposed to hit Tampa straight on, and hurricane. What was it? I don't even know what it was. It was last year.
You'll forget all their names.
Yeah,
until they hit.
There's all these. Yeah, they got a whole name.
Yeah,
whole list of names. But we actually dipped town because it was supposed to like literally be like catastrophic for parts of Tampa, and we're like right next to the beach. So I was like, no, babe, we got to dip. And so we left. They literally changed directions at the last second, so all these people left. We waited in traffic, spent money on stuff we didn't spend money on, and we're good. But no, luckily, no tropical storms that are too bad. Some that like knock down trees and like the small damages to like the house and the car, but that's just like East Coast things.
Yeah. Where did that ended up hitting Sanibel Island?
Yeah, man, that was really bad.
That's terrifying, you guys. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Well, California's got landslides. They've got earthquakes. We don't have to deal with that.
They don't hit that often, though, until like that big one comes that they talk about. But so far, it hasn't been. I think maybe one when I was like 10. That was scary, but it wasn't bad.
That you felt that you were like,
yeah.
So you grew up in San Diego, in Southern California, or?
Well, it's funny you said that you were born in Japan because I'm Japanese. So my grandma is from Japan as well. She met my grandfather again in the military, and they were either going to be in California or Germany. So they chose California, obviously, and then, I was born in LA, like Anaheim. Well, I was born in Arcadia. I don't know if you've heard about it. It's kind of small. It's from, like, Pasadena, but LA County. And then, I moved to San Diego recently.
So so that's southern, like, I don't know California. I mean, I know Southern California. That's San Diego, Southern California.
Is two different places.
Right. So it's either southern or northern.
They're two different states, man. Like they've been trying to do the Jefferson and the California thing for a hot minute, and it's very much two different states, two totally different ideals, political views. It's like you go northern and people are like running around with guns out their car, and then you go down south and it's like people they're doing protests.
Florida is the same way. We're kind of the same way. Orlando South is more of that, liberal-minded. Orlando North is more conservative-minded, or Ocala North, so a little bit north of here. But we don't want to talk politics, obviously. But let's get into things. What inspired you guys to get into the fitness industry? Like, what made you take this journey? And we'll start with Alexia. what made you pursue fitness as like a career goal?
So for me, it started, I actually played soccer growing up since I was a little girl, and I ended up tearing both of my ACLs when I was 15. And then I played one game, and then that first game, I tore my second ACL. So it was a 9-month recovery, back on the field, another injury. So after that, I actually kind of faced an eating disorder for a little bit because my muscles atrophied so much from having that 2 9-month recoveries back to back. So I got super skinny, didn't want to eat any carbs, and it's to the point where I was like passing out from not eating. So that led me to go to the gym. Right around like COVID time is when I started working out. And then I joined Foothill Gym in Monrovia, which is actually my first bodybuilding gym. And they kind of changed my whole perspective on health and fitness and whatnot. So I did my first show in WNBF Natural, got my pro card. And now I'm here.
So wait. Basically, over like.
Basically, you went from one spectrum to the other.
Like literally, like your career to like you went pro in your first show.
It was WNBF, but yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, I did figure it's not something I would pursue now in WNBF, but I think if I was ever to compete again, it would be NPC wellness, but I would need a lot of time to grow into that. So we'll see if I ever do it, but yeah.
So injuries is basically what inspired you to start. I mean, not really, but like, you know, a change. It was a change.
It was a change. I think I've always kind of had a mind for health and wellness in general, so I knew that what I was doing to my body was not healthy and it was not good for me, so I had to make a change in some way. But I was in college at the time. I was working as a server too, so I didn't really have any direction to go towards like bodybuilding or fitness. COVID kind of like pushed me into that when I joined Foothill. And then I met my coach, I met friends that were in bodybuilding. They were like, you should just do a show. So I hopped into it and it all went well. So now I'm here bodybuilding.
And I argue that California is so much more fitness minded than almost every other state in the union. It's just everything about the lifestyle out there is involved around fitness or being outside or looking good at parties. I mean, that seems to be like the whole idea of, you know, as far as the aesthetics of California, you know, how you look and stuff like that. So you guys kind of had a leg up on everybody. I mean, you know, where you started, but you know, but now you bring it to Florida, bring it to, you're still in San Diego, so you get to stay out there on the left coast. Austin, what inspired you to pursue this dream?
Yeah, so basically it wasn't bodybuilding, right? I actually didn't care. I didn't really know what bodybuilding even was. Honestly, my grandma at one point was like showing me pictures my grandpa showed her of Arnold and was just like, because my you know how Arnold was back then, like everybody was like Arnold, and they still are, but it's like the older generation now, that's what they look at bodybuilding as. You see these freaks now and it's like they're just juicy, saucy, and they're just like, your grandparents, they don't like that. They want Arnold, you know, he worked construction, he was a governor, you know, that's what they see like a successful bodybuilder is like, you know, not like veiny, shredded. It was different back then. So when I saw, I didn't even like that. And that was back then when it looked more like natural, so to speak. So I was never, ever interested in bodybuilding whatsoever. Honestly, I didn't really have a purpose in my head. I didn't really know. I didn't have any structure in my life. My parents were dirt poor, my whole family actually. And it's just like, I was in this small town. Like, I just really felt kind of like in this monotonous circle. And I feel like I always, and I'm not trying to like be weird, but like I've always kind of like seen the bigger picture, and knew that I had to get out of that town at some point to be able to make something of myself. But I just didn't have any resources because like you can't create, well, you don't think at least, you can't create nothing in an environment like that where there's no room to grow. Like there's no money in that town. So how am I going to even save enough money myself to leave, because you have to make money just to survive and live in that town. So basically I just started hustling, you know. I just started, I was working, you know, as a lifeguard underage at 15. My mom would drop me off and I'd work, you know, after school. So I had like this hour after work between when she picked me up, because I didn't have a car, And when I got done working, and I was playing chess with the chess team, because I literally was like a nerd, or I'd go play like computer games on like this thing called addictinggames.com. And then I was like, you know what, I want more. I want to make more at this time. And I decided to try the gym out, and I'm like, I'm a lifeguard, I could, play the part anyways. So I started working out, progressed really fast. I went from like benching like a 10, 15 on each side. Like I was really weak. Like I was just that fat kid that looked like he was strong, but I was like really weak. And honestly, just really fell in love with the process. I fell in love with like the dieting portion of it. Honestly, is like what really inspired me is like how you can manipulate what you eat, and it literally has a direct correlation on how you look. I thought that was mind blowing, and so that's kind of why I'm a coach now. But that's a different story. It progressed. I was doing lifeguard thing. I was a PT aide. I did all these types of things just like in the niche, the health and fitness area. And then I was like, you know what? Like I just need to get out of here, because the one goal I had, I still wasn't achieving, and that was just to get out of Reading and just try to like experience the life on my own somewhere else. I would move out of my parents' house, and then whether it be like a relationship or whether it be like, financial problems, I'd end up moving back in. And it was like, I was just in this constant like monotonous circle, and it was just so...
You got caught in the whirlpool of Reading, right?
And it was the hardest thing. It was the hardest like 2 or 3 years of my life, because like I was so young and I put so much pressure on myself, which I'm glad I did. But it's just... Yeah, it was really rough. And then I think I just reached my breaking point. I had this really bad relationship where basically it was like very abusive. Not I wasn't the abusive one. And they got the cops called on us because like they thought that I was like hitting her or whatever, but it was her throwing shit across the room at me, and I had it all on camera. And I had to move out, and I basically just paid my lease off with all the rest of the money in my bank account, moved back into my parents' house with nothing. I left all my stuff there and restarted my life back in my parents' house for the 4th time. And I was just done. I was just like, I got to do something. So I decided to take the $300 that I had in my bank account, and I bought an entry and a tan to a show. And I was like, screw it. I'm going to do it. I've been working my ass off for so long. Everybody's telling me to do a show. It's all I have. I'll go mow my mom's yard or something in the morning, or I don't know, try to make like 10 to 15 bucks to get to work, because I didn't even have gas money. And I was like, screw it, I'm going to do it. So I started prep. I was 7 weeks out. I only had 7 weeks. So I was like, I'm going to get shredded. And I won it. I won the whole show. And I qualified for a national show. And then I actually got all my ducks in a row. I saved a bunch of money and worked my ass off. I was working construction 5 days a week, like 12 to 14 hours a day. And then I would personal train online on the side, trying to get that going. And then I ended up moving to Reno, Nevada. Did my first national show right after moving there. Was still tight. Everything was still tight. I was paying like $2,000 a month to live by myself. And, I made it work. And then I didn't place at that show. But I can't expect to, place at my first national show. It was like 2 years ago. So I did that. And then I did another show at the end of the year, and then shut it down. The best decision I've ever made was meeting my coach that I currently have. He has helped me in like way more ways than I can even express my business. He's my mentor, so everything I know I've learned from him. When it comes to like prepping people, I'm a prep coach, so like I literally find more happiness and fulfillment from putting other people on stage than I do putting myself on stage and going through the process myself. Which I'll be honest, in the future I could totally see myself kind of stepping away from the bodybuilding myself and just kind of letting other people live that dream, because it's just more fulfilling for me, honestly. Like it just really is seeing other people thrive doing the things that they love. So,
but it's important now, though, right, to do it, because you are your own advertisement.
Exactly.
Right. So it's like you do have to kind of go down that road to it's a lot easier to sell when you've been there.
And it's very important for my athletes that I know what's relevant in the sport, because things change all the time. Whether it be the look of, like, for example, like wellness came out of nowhere, right? Wellness is, everybody thought they were wellness when they first started competing, but wellness is a very unique individual type of human. It's not just a girl who puts on size on their legs. It's a girl who's born a horse that builds more size on their legs. It's just how it is. So like bikini used to be more feminine, and now it's still feminine, but bikini is like, they're jacked. Those bikini girls are jacked. Like, they got like big ass shoulders.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I was gonna say,
they're shredded. Like, national level conditioning is no joke. I'm not sure if you guys know, but I'm literally on prep right now. I'm 18 days out. I just did my first show this year last weekend, and I got a DEXA scan. Came back at 5%, and then got another one that came back at 3.8%. So I'm truly 3.8% body fat, and I've been there for like a month, and it's not fun. So being truly stage lean is not easy, especially when you're running a business with like 55 plus clients. So that's pretty much my story, you know. So, oh boy, maintaining that kind of and traveling, bro. It's not easy.
And like food is
fuel.
Food and being able to bring what you need to go to places. I mean, luckily, like, you know, there's refrigerators. You know,
I'm very blessed because, like, I'm not trying to plug my sponsor, but like, I have meal prep company Flex Pro that like literally sends me whatever meals I want, and you know, I'm very, very fortunate for them. But, you know, all my clients use them as well because it's just easier. Like, when something's priced right and it works for you and it's convenient, it just works. And so I'm very fortunate for them, as well as you guys. And, you know, all these sponsorships really do, you know, make the sport a lot easier and make it, you know, realistic, to be honest. Because, like, it's what gets you started in the first place. Is like, what's the point of getting started in bodybuilding? It's like, I want to be sponsored. Like, who doesn't want to be sponsored by a dope company? Like, you know, so
it's and I think, you know, your physique speaks for itself as far as being able to stick with that, and yeah, our job as a supplement company is to help you guys, you know, reach your fitness goals. But, you know, you mentioned coaching, and Alexia, you do some coaching as well.
Online coaching.
What would you say is the hardest part of coaching? What like is it? I understand it's rewarding when you know, everybody gets, if your clients reach their goals or whatever, but what's the hardest part?
I think the hardest part, so I do a lot of female lifestyle clients. So he's more, I think, in the spectrum, where more prep coach.
Yeah.
So I do lifestyle. I think, like, as a woman, we face a lot of like difficulties emotionally, mentally, physically. I think kind of navigating every client's struggles with them is a little bit challenging because, you know, you want to be a coach to them, but you're also kind of a friend and a mentor, like he said. So you have to kind of navigate all aspects of their life just to make sure that they're successful in their coaching as well along the way.
Mm-hmm. And as far as being a prep coach, what have you found the hardest part to be?
Yeah, so setting realistic expectations, because, you know, I get a lot of people who haven't competed before. I also get a lot of people who have competed before, and what's similar with those people, they all have ideas in their head of what it's going to be like, and they don't understand exactly what it's going to be like until they go through it. So something that I really pride myself on is making sure that I outline expectations in terms of like results, but also outline expectations in terms of like client-coach relationship as prep like progresses, because food gets low. Sometimes you got drugs in there. Sometimes you got a lot of cardio in there. There's restless nights. There's travel. There's work, because people have people work real jobs, 9-to-5 jobs, and it's not easy. So, you know, it's important to stress to them, like, hey, this is not going to be easy. Like, there will be days where you do not want to do this more often than not. But it's a matter of sticking with it. It's a matter of you understanding it's not just you doing this show. It's everybody on your team. It's your family. It's your friends. It's me. We're in this together, so as long as communication's high, we're good. And then the whole other aspect is, like I said, stuff gets hard. Like, your mind starts playing tricks on you. Like, right now, man, you know how many times I cried at my girlfriend for no reason, because I'm just so done with like prep. It's exhausting. It literally, you don't have a break. You can't just go eat. You know, when you're stressed, you can't just go eat. You can't go on a walk sometimes because you have to monitor your steps. Like, you just got to sit there and deal with what's in your head, and it's like one of the hardest things to do. So I tell my clients, I'm like, I expect you to question me as prep goes on. I expect you to, like, not hate me, but kind of resent me when I make certain decisions, because if you didn't, then, like, we're not doing it right. You're not pushing hard enough, because that's what it takes. It takes you having to tap into that deep mindset to be able to really get those results that you want. And I think that's the other part that is so hard about prep coaching. And lifestyle coaching is a whole different, like, that's a whole different aspect too, because that's even sometimes harder, because when you have somebody who signs up for a prep, they're ready. Like, they at least they think they're ready. You know what I mean? And that's music to a coach's ears, because we just want to know that you're in, and like, we want to know that the time and energy that we're spending isn't going wasted, because I know you probably feel the same way. But when I have a client, whether they're paying me up front for a bunch of time or they're paying me month to month, the money aside, I get fulfillment from knowing that they're thriving and they're checking in. So when they're not doing their part, I literally feel terrible. Like, I literally, I have like 58 clients right now, and like, when I don't have everybody check in, I feel like crap. So it's like constantly like telling yourself, like, it's not you, it's the client and their adherence to the plan, but then it is kind of you too, because you don't have something in place that's keeping them going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, there's always these constant mental battles from a coach's perspective and from the client's perspective. And I think it's just a matter of just keeping communication high is the biggest thing that I've realized.
That's the key to life.
That's the key to life.
That's the key to life, is communication.
And so, like, one thing taken out of it, communication high, work your ass off. And if you're going to hire a coach, listen to what they say. Like, question it, learn why they're doing it. But if you hire somebody, you need to not be doing your own thing, especially on prep. Like, it doesn't make sense, you know? So as long as adherence is there, communication's high, and expectations are set and boundaries are set, then I don't see there being a problem, as long as you're a good coach and they're a good athlete or a client. So
yeah, we talked yesterday a little bit at lunch. I'm a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach.
Yeah.
Been a black belt since 2014.
That's sick.
Been coaching pros, pro fighters and all that stuff. What I find to be the hardest part of being a coach isn't the mentoring. I enjoy the mentoring. I enjoy helping people, helping them work through their life problems, not just their jiu-jitsu problems. But what I find the hardest part being is when somebody has the potential to be awesome, and they don't have the drive, or they just don't have the follow through. Like, they get this close.
And you like want to give it to them, but then it's like, I don't want to give them that much time and energy and like give them that opportunity and then them throw it away. Like,
they also have to like want it for themselves.
Exactly. And there's something else that happens too when you want something yourself and you work for it, and you guys all know this because we've all done great things. It's like, there's just that, it's not even the satisfaction. It's like down the road, like, say you accomplished something last year that was significant. You've been wanting to accomplish it. You worked really hard. You either saved money, you saved time, like whatever it is, you accomplish it, and it was hard and you're proud of yourself. When you go face the next thing and it's harder than that, it's not going to feel harder than that because you did that and that was impossible. So it's like you're constantly leveling up the more you step out of that comfort zone. So I totally see what you mean.
Yeah. And I think it's like as far as that's concerned, it's like alcoholics. They'll stop drinking when they want to stop drinking. And I think people like the idea, of making a change. And they're like, and they get this picture in their head, but when it comes down to actually doing the work, I think a lot of them, that's where everybody falls short. I have this little saying that I tell my guys. I said, everybody wants to be a champion until it's time to do champion shit.
100%.
And people just don't want to do that little bit extra. Eat the boiled chicken, or
Hey, boiled chicken sounds good right now. Sorry, I'm responding. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm responding to a client real fast.
Take those extra, take that extra walk or whatever. People just don't want to do that little bit extra, and that's the frustrating thing when it comes as a coach. And as someone, I've reached a pinnacle. I'm a world champion at what I've done. So it's like, I want that for everybody. I want that feeling for everybody, So I understand the highs and lows of being a coach.
I think it's awesome that you do that. By the way,
yeah.
I think it's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. There's been one thing in life that I've always wanted to pursue, but I've always been way too intimidated, and that is martial arts. I will be completely honest with you. I don't know what it is. Like, I can't wrap my head around being like totally fucked up by some like 5'5" dude.
Well,
seriously, because
by the way, the first time I stepped on the mat, I was basically just getting done with pro wrestling. I was 330 pounds. I'm 6'1". I got beat up by a guy that was like 5'8", 160 pounds, choked me out like 6 times in 5 minutes.
No, literally. So my uncle, he's a black belt. Well, he passed away, unfortunately, but he was a black belt. Very good. Very, very good jiu-jitsu. And he flung me on my ass so hard and then like just choked me out, man. Like didn't actually choke me out, but I'm just like, how am I like, I'm like literally like just towering you, and you just use momentum. That's all it is leverage and momentum. Just like, boom, like just done, just toasted. And I'm like, I want to learn that, but damn, that's a lot of time. That is a lot of time and a lot of repetition and a lot of just kind of rewiring the way your brain works. You know what I mean?
Well, I just saw this video where. So, like, I just turned 50 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago.
You do not look 50, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're jacked.
And this guy was saying, he goes, the average lifespan is 78. So, he goes, my lifespan now is 28 years, and I've got a lot of stuff that I want to fit into that 28 years. But you guys don't think about it. You guys are in your 20s. You guys are like, oh, blah, 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 blah. But we're we only have this much space to fit everything in that we want to do. So take advantage of that now. Like, if I could give you guys any wisdom, it would be take advantage of the life that you guys have and try to do as much stuff in it, because I think that's the secret to life. Doing as much stuff, experiencing as much of this reality and this plane of existence as we possibly can.
I just think it's cliche sounding, but I just don't think like there should ever be a day wasted. Like, we may be 23, 24, but tomorrow's not guaranteed. You know, if the average lifespan is 78, like, we're not guaranteed that either.
Yeah.
So there's no point in wasting, putting anything off that we really want to accomplish in life. We should just go for it now.
But every once in a while, that veg day feels so good. Like, when scrolling through, I'm a YouTube guy. I go through YouTube rather than Netflix. But like sometimes I feel so good, or I'll play Call of Duty for like 16 hours. I don't know.
Dude, I gotta just say this. I used to go ham on Call of Duty back in my pizza days. I used to eat pizza bowls, like boxes of cereal, man, while I was sitting there, and I used to go crazy. Call of Duty Black Ops.
I started eating carnivore last couple weeks ago. Yeah. So it's like I haven't eaten cereal though in years though, because it's just full of sugar, and like the stuff I love is just basically all about the sugar content and the taste. But like, man, dude, I used to love cereal. Get a big old bowl of Captain Crunch.
Oh my god!
I have. You know what? That would be a delicious protein. Like right now, I don't know if I was talking with you the other day, or it might have been Liam. If you notice, like, the flavor that's kind of big right now is waffles and maple syrup.
That, yeah.
It's the protein that's because HD Muscle came out with it a while ago, and then I think Raw just came out with one, and it's like everybody's popping up these waffle and have you seen those? Like, literally everywhere.
Yeah, I'm like, man, I like waffles. But it's like, can it really transfer the taste? I mean, if anybody could do it, it would be us. I mean,
oh yeah,
like, I don't know. Like, I know you're in prep, so you're not.
Oh, I've had the ISOFIT before. It's good.
The Banana Foster's is crazy good. Vanilla, I put it in everything. Like, I like, what I've been doing is I've been like kind of like mixing like quarter scoop of vanilla with like a full scoop of the strawberry, and like putting it in like water or orange juice. I've been kind of experimenting to see what tastes best. But I think we could come up with a great. I mean, we are working on some new flavors. We're not going to tell you what they are.
I was like, what are they?
And I can't tell you what they are, but we are. We just had a taste testing a couple weeks ago.
So Liam was saying, he said he's pretty excited for it.
Yeah. So
dang,
we have 2023 for Nutrex is gonna. We have a lot of things in the works.
That's awesome.
A lot of new products coming out. You guys tried the new product yesterday.
Outlet Burn, right?
Yep, we have it right here. Again, it has a. I guess I don't know if I can talk about the secret ingredient in it yet.
Well, because I'll talk about it a little bit.
I don't know if we can, because I don't know when this
is going to come out.
When it's going to come out.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's something that's never been done. Nobody has put what we put in to Outlet Burn. Nobody has done it yet. So we are the first to market to do it.
Well, I will say, when I took it, I noticed, so I don't know why, I gotta be warm. I gotta be warm when I work out. If I take something that just cracks me out, I don't care for it. I could care less if there's a bunch of caffeine, if I'm being honest. I'm the type of person where I would like to have a good mind muscle connection, a good pump, and a good sweat. And that is just how I've always been. I've always been a functional athlete before anything else. So it's like, I used to play soccer too, and I played tennis, and like everything, all these things, like you're sweating, you need hydration, stuff like that. And one thing I did notice with that when we tried it out yesterday is I was warm, and I felt warmed up, like in terms of like my muscles. I felt like I was like able to, like my muscles were able to breathe and like stretch before I was even like working out. And I don't know if that helped, but the pump I had yesterday was pretty nuts. I'm not sure what the pump complex
I saw the video. I saw the video of you doing the flies, dude. Your veins shredded. It was like,
well, no, what I'm saying is like that. It's hard for me to get a pump right now because I don't have any freaking carbs. Like I literally just had like 50 grams of rice. Like pathetic. So the fact that I got a pump speaks for itself.
All right.
And I got a little sweat too. That was good.
We were talking about it too. We don't like being nauseous
when
we train. I feel like that's a huge thing for me too. With a lot of the pre-workouts I've tried in the past, I get nauseous. And with this one, we didn't feel that at all. So I think that makes a huge difference.
That's good. Because you don't have that heart, that rush of caffeine.
Well, it's very subtle. It's very subtle. The whatever the thermo or the burn, it's very subtle, and that's something that I really like. Is I've tried, the industry went through this phase where the thermogenics were huge for a minute, and they had insane amounts of caffeine, just things that like yohimbine in them and stuff like this, and those are great fat burners, so to speak, but dude, they make you so nauseous. I didn't feel anything coming off that. I didn't feel anything even taking that. I just felt as the workout started, I was just focused in. I was warm. My muscles were like warmed up. I didn't even stretch yesterday, but I felt like I was just like warm. Blood flow was good, and pump was great. And that's exactly what I want. I don't want something where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need to go hit the gym. Like I don't want to, I'm not like that. I'd rather just be chill, calm, and that's when I can like work out and just have a good workout.
And then you won't have a crash after either.
Right, yeah. I'm not in high school. I don't want to take pre-workout before high school football and then puke on the football field. That's not how I am.
Yeah, like I'm an old school guy. My pre-workout has always been a cup of coffee. Like I used to do that. Slamming a hot cup of coffee and let that heat warm me up. That used to be how the way I've always operated. But the burn, I was like, I like that. It's spicy. That little spicy it has to it too. Like it kind of wakes me up a little, like in a different way.
Are you allowed to talk about the flavors?
Yeah, we can talk about the flavors. Yeah. You guys got
Rocket,
American
Pop.
Red, White, American.
Yeah, Red, White, American.
Red, White, American is the flavor, and Rocket Pop, dude. That's like the flavor of that stuff. Like I'm hoping we can get one for the EAAs too.
I'm just excited because every flavor that Nutrex has, I already told you guys the other day on my story. I will put my name on it. Guys, I have tried more products than you could ever fucking imagine. And Nutrex has the best flavors on earth. Like, seriously, I put my name on it. And I haven't even really, like, tried the protein lately. I tried it, a long time ago, and it was good. Can't imagine what it's like now. Like, after 2-3 more years of, reinventing the wheel type thing. I mean, it's that EAA's powder, before it got cut out from prep, unfortunately, was absolutely amazing. That apple pear, man, all my clients are hooked on it. Banana Foster protein, all my clients hooked on it. Like literally, I sent free tubs out to my clients. I was like, hey, I'll buy it for you. And I bought them like some of my clients like tubs just for fun so they could try it out. And now they're all using Nutrex stuff because they love it. It tastes so good.
Beautiful. Love it.
That goes across the board for all the products. So like whether it's protein, EAA, or the pre-workout, I feel like the flavors are not overpowering. We were talking about this too. Everything's subtly sweet. So there's a lot of pre-workouts that I feel like are just too sour or too much, and I literally don't want to drink it. And I feel like that plays a huge part in me being nauseous, is just from the flavor profile itself. Yeah. So anything I've tried from here, it doesn't make me feel that way, and I love it.
I'm now a part of the flavor, like, testing, which is great and bad at the same time. Like sometimes you taste something and you're like,
oh gosh,
it feels like you got kicked in the face. It's like it takes a minute to get the formula right. But I am not a sweet guy, so if it's too sweet, I'm like, no, I can't drink this, or I can't taste that.
It's funny you said that, because when I first started talking to Liam about getting on the team, every time I talked to him, he seemed like he was in a taste test with you guys. And there's something to be said about that, because I feel like a lot of these, I'm not trying to compare companies or anything, but I feel like a lot of companies, they don't go to that extreme to make sure that these products taste like they say they do, and that's such a big thing. Like, that's so important for me. I mean, I'm a sweet tooth, I'm a savory person, man. If something doesn't taste good, I just don't see the point. Like, I would rather not take pre-workout if it doesn't taste good, because it's like, especially on prep, like that, I literally look forward to the pre-workout, because it's like what gets me through the day. It satisfies that like temporary sweet tooth that I need, or the savory if you want to do something like, that's maybe more like a strawberry watermelon instead of like a candy type pre-workout. And when a company puts that much time into flavors, it's gonna go so much further. It really does, and the consumer loves it that much more. So,
and what we do here also is we have a spectrum of people, right? Like, you have Liam, who's a bodybuilder, Jeff, who's a bodybuilder. Then you have me, who's more of a combat sport athlete. But obviously, if you look at me, I love food, right? like it's if someone's gonna be good with flavor, it's gonna be the fat guy. So you come to the fat guy, I'll tell you what it'll taste.
You're not fat, bro. You're just like a huge human.
That's
you're
right.
just
Yeah.
You're just dense.
My ex-wife, which is still weird to say, she named me Gorilla Boy. Because
Boy.
I'm literally built like long arms, short legs.
You kind of are a gorilla, bro.
Yeah. It's like I got the like just the big barrel chest.
Dude, you're that dude on the street that like walks around and you're like, I just don't want to mess with him. Like, he's just big.
Never been in. I mean, I was a bouncer, but I've never been in a fight in my life.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like, no one's ever. But we've been going. So I want to get you guys out of here, because I know we got a bunch of stuff. But let's close out with this. And it's going to be the same for both of you. So we have roughly half the year to go. If the rest of 2023 goes perfectly in your eyes, what would that look like?
Oh, that's a good question. I think if 2023 goes perfect, I'm really business minded right now. I really want to focus on growing my business, kind of acquire more clients, help those clients achieve their goals. But obviously, for my personal goals, continue growing. Maybe not hop on stage, but just kind of get more in that mindset to maybe do a show next year, whatnot, whatever it may be. I think travel plans, I have some travel plans coming up. Just work on kind of growing content as well, new tracks, YouTube. I just started YouTube, so that's a whole different, you have YouTube too.
You and I both.
Yeah.
I have had one, but I haven't been consistent until recently. And dude, the consistency on YouTube is where it's at, man. Like, once you get those like 2 months of videos out every week, they throw you on that freaking I don't know, is it an explore page or is it just like the home screen?
I just think the algorithm starts.
It puts you on when you like click into the YouTube app. It puts you on.
But they
that
love the consistency
page.
And just the frequency of like once or twice a week. So yeah, I think it's genius that you get started on that.
Yeah,
honestly. Those are good goals, honestly.
And what about you, Austin? If
2023
looks perfect, you're perfect, next 6 months, perfect. Lay it out for us.
All right, I'm going to shoot high. So basically, if 2023 was perfect at the end of December, so that January 1st of next year, I look back and I'm like, dang, I did everything I could. This does sound like a lot, all right? But I'm going to hold myself to it. So I want to win my pro card. I want to win the overall at USA's in 18 days. And then I want to reverse out of that show, put on 5 to 10 pounds of muscle before the end of the year. I want to be ready to start a prep early, mid next year and be able to qualify for the Olympia, hopefully. And I think I can do that. I really do. And I don't expect to do anything crazy there, but I want to qualify for the Olympia next year. And I know after how much size I put on this year, I definitely think it's possible, especially with my shape and my structure. I definitely think if I can put some size in my arms, a little bit of size on my delts, and then like my calves, I think my shape will carry me all the way, to the top 10 at the Olympia one day, not next year, but I do want to try to run for the Olympia by the end of next year. And then that's like my own career. I think even more important than that is, you know, I mean, they're all important, but outside of that, I got to take into consideration my girlfriend. I have some pretty big plans for us next year, not like getting married or anything quite yet, but I want to buy a house, my first house next year. I've been working my ass off, saving like everything. I've been penny pinching. I've been taking risks for my business. I want to hit 100 clients at least by the end of the year. I'm at like 55 or 56, or I could be around 60 now. I've had a couple signups this week, but I want to be at 100 by the end of the year. And then I want to scale Reform, the coaching company that I work for with Alex Toplin. He owns it. I want to scale that as much as possible and be as much of a positive force in that as possible. So that's pretty much it. So basically, to summarize it, I want to win a pro card this year and an overall. I'm going to be mad if I get a pro card without the overall, because you can do that. But I want to be able to hold that overall trophy up in the air, and then I want to grow out of the show, put on 10 pounds before the end of the year, be in a place where I'm ready to try to win a pro show and get an Olympia qualification. And then I want to have 100 clients or more by the end of the year, and I want to buy a house mid next year. So
those are some good goals. Good goals, guys. Thank you guys for doing this. You know, hopefully, you know, you learned something about each other. We learned something about me and about the company. So thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Do us a favor, like this, share this, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Also, if you can, leave a comment. You have any questions for these guys? We're going to put their socials underneath them, so you know, in the so you guys can follow them. So if you're looking to follow them, you'll be able to real easy. But leave us a comment, ask us questions, and I'll forward them on to them. And
yeah, maybe we'll do another one of these. So leave some comments down below. We could always do a virtual one too. If we can't all get together, we could always like a Zoom one and record it. That'd be
for sure. Live or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. But like, we want to be here for you guys. We want to answer any questions, and you know, above everything, bring you guys the content you guys deserve, because we really do appreciate the support. So, all
right, thank you guys. We'll see you next time.
I like the fist bump.
Cute.
This is cool.